Greetings and welcome to our lecture on simultaneous equations in three variables. As you can see, we are told to solve these equations x, y, and z. These are three variables. I think you are aware of simultaneous equations in three variables. This is x, y. By this time, we are going to look at it from the angle of x, y, and z. So the first thing that you should do, you should write this equations in matrix form. Remember, we are still on matrices, so we are solving these simultaneous equations, three variables, using matrices. So the first step that you are supposed to do, you are supposed to align this in form of a matrix. So how are we going to do it? First and foremost, you write your matrix in this form and you pick the coefficient of each and every variable. Look at this, the coefficient of x here, it is 2, so you write your 2 here. The coefficient of y here, the one that is in front of y here, it is not 0 but it is 1. Remember, 1 times y, it is y. So the one that is in front of y here, it's 1. So you write your 1 in that format. The one that is in front of z here, it is what? It is not 1 but -1, because in front there is a negative. So the one in front of z here is -1. So you write your -1 in that format. So when you are done, you can close your bracket in that format. Again, you come here, the one in front of x here, it is 3, and the one in front of y here, it is 2. The one in front of z here, it is a 2. When I say 2, it's automatically, I mean +2. So the one in front here, it is 1, or if you want, you can say +1. The one in front of y here, it's -4, and the one in front of z here, it is -3. All these, they are multiplied by x, y, z. So this is x, y, and z. And the answer we are getting after we multiply all these, the answer that we are getting, we are getting 3, 1, 4. So you write your 3, 1, and 4 in that manner. Okay, yeah. So when you are done with this now, the next thing that you have to do, you have to solve this simultaneous equation using matrix. So the answer that we are supposed to get when we solve this, we are supposed to get x, y, z is equals to this is the formula. It is 1 over determinant times our new matrix that we are going to form, then times the answer. The answer in this case, we are talking of this solution. This is the answer. So times we can just say times the answer like that. So this is what we are supposed to do. The new matrix here, this is the matrix that we get after finding the core factors or the core values. So what are we supposed to do? First and foremost, we are supposed to find the determinant. You can use any of the methods that I taught you. You can check on our previous lessons to find the one that you are comfortable with. So if you want, you can start looking at it from this angle. You have your 2 there. So the determinant, either you use, let's say, method 1. Okay, let's try method 1. Method 1, we can pick our 2 there. If we pick 2 there, what you are going to get in the bracket, you are going to get, if you 2 here, so you remain with 2, 2, -4, and -3. So you have your 2, 2, -4, -3 in that manner. So then you have your -1 here, because remember you are using the identity. The identity that you are using here, it is the identity of a positive x, negative x, and positive x, like that. Again, you have a negative x, positive x, negative x. So positive x, negative x, and positive x in that format. This is the identity we are using for this one. So when we come here, you are taking the negative. So it's -1. And then you have your brackets. And then you have your 3. You have your 2. You have your 1, you have your -3 in that format. Then you have your -1. Then after your -1, you have your 3. You have, because for -1, which means you will be here, so you have your 3, 2, 1, -4. 3, 2, 1, -4, like that. So you have your 2 ideally, and when you have your 2, it means you multiply this times that, which will give you a -6. and then in negative 4 times positive 2, you will get a negative 8, but you are subtracting, so which means you get a positive 8. Okay, then you have a minus 1. Same applies here. You have your negative 9 and you have your negative 2. Okay, because this is 3 here. Okay, then you have a minus 1 here, so this will be your negative 12, and you get a negative 2. Okay, because this is negative 12, 3 times that, negative 12, and this will give you a negative 2. So finally you'll get a 2, and then you get negative 6 plus 8, you get a 2, and minus 1, here you get your negative 11, here you have a minus 1, you get a negative 14. Okay. Okay, you simplify further, you get a 4, you get a positive 11, and then you get a positive 14. And when you add all these 4 plus 11 plus 14, you get a 29. Okay. So which means you can therefore say the determinant is equals to 29. Okay. So when you are done with the determinant, remember we are following this equation, and this equation that we are following, first we have found the determinant, we are done. So now we have to find the n matrix. You remember how we have been finding the n matrix? So you can check on the previous video. So let's work the n matrix together. So we are going to get a new sheet. Okay, allow me to get this paper here. Okay, so how are we going to find the new matrix? So our new matrix, it is simple. What we are going to do, we are still going to use what we have there. So this is what we have. So we are going to copy this and then use this to find the new matrix. So already we have we can copy that one. So already we have your 2. Okay, so you have 2, you have 1, you have minus 1, and you have a 3, you have a 2, you have a 2, you have a 1, and minus 4, and then you have minus 3 in that format. So when you look at this, and when you look at what we have here, I'll just copy from this sheet here. So this is the matrix that you have from here. So you pick this matrix that you have in this format, which is this one. So it's this one that we use now to find the n matrix. So now let's try to work on the n matrix. So our n matrix, using this one, what we are going to do, we are going to do the same format that we have been doing all along. So you expand this in the form of the identity. So what you are going to get, you are going to get something in that format, that format, that format. Okay, and then you have your brackets there. You have this format, you have this format, another format, then you have this format, that format. So this is negative according to identity, this is negative, that is negative, and this is negative. So when we are done with this one, this is now we start aligning this matrix now. When you are standing at this position, what you are going to pick, you are going to pick a 2, 2, negative 4, negative 3. So you have got a 2, 2, negative 4, and a negative 3. Then when you stand here, you are going to pick a 3, 2, okay, 3, 2, 1, negative 3. So here you are going to pick a 3, 2, 1, negative 4. Okay, and then here you are going to pick a 1, negative 1, and you are going to pick a negative 4, and you are going to pick negative 3. Okay, then here you are going to pick a 2, negative 1, and then you are going to pick a 1, and you are going to pick a negative 3. Here you are going to pick a 2, 1, and then you are going to pick a 1, you are going to pick a negative 4. Okay, then here you're going to pick a 1, you're going to pick a negative 1, you're going to pick a 2 and a 2. Here you're going to pick a 2, you're going to pick a negative 1, you're going to pick a 3, you're going to pick a 2. Okay, here you're going to pick a 2, a 1, and you're going to pick a 3 and a 2. Okay, so if you don't know how we're picking this, check on the previous lecture so that we will be on the same page. So when we are done with this one now, you are simplifying it. How are we simplifying this matrix that we have? It's very simple. So what we are going to do again, we are going to write a matrix in that format. So now you are finding the determinant. So you have 2 times negative 3 minus negative 4 times 2. So 2 times negative 3 is going to give you a negative 6. So negative 4 times 2 is negative 8 minus, so it will give you, let's put it negative. So we are subtracting minus 4, negative 4 times that, it is negative 8 in that format. Okay, so you come to the next, it's negative 3 times 3, you get a negative 9. So already there's a negative outside, so inside you are going to get a negative 9, and then you have your minus 2. Okay, so that one is minus 2. Then next here, you're going to get a negative 12 and minus 2. Okay. Okay. So we are just finding just determinants. So here minus, here you're going to get 1 times negative 3, you are going to get a negative 3, and this negative 1 times negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4, but you are subtracting, so you have a negative 4. Okay, then here you are going to get a negative 6 and a positive 1. Okay, because 1 times negative 1 is negative 1, but there's a minus which will give it a positive. Okay, same applies with this one. Now this one we did not just simplify, so we come here, so we have this one, it will give us a negative 8, and that one there, it will give us a negative 1. Okay. Then we come now here, what we are going to get, we are going to get a 2 times 1 is 2 minus 2 times negative 1. Automatically it will give you as a 2 plus 2 in that format. Then here there's a negative, so 2 times 2 is a 4. Okay, so you have a 4. 3 times negative 1, 3 times negative 1, it is negative 3, but because of the negative, okay, let's put it in that format if you want. I wanted to add in advance the way I did here. So the last part here, it is 4, you have 4 minus 3 in that format. So what we'll have here is our matrix. So negative times negative is positive 8. So this is same as negative 6 plus 8. It is just going to give us a 2. Okay. So here it's negative 9. Negative 2 is negative 11 times 1. It is just going to give us positive 11. And here we're going to get a negative 14. Okay. And here we're going to get a positive 7, because this will be negative 7. Negative 3 times minus negative 4 is negative 7 times 1. It's going to give us positive 7. And here we're going to get a negative 5. Negative 6 plus 1. Here, negative 8 minus 1, it will be negative 9. And negative outside, when it is multiplied, we're going to get a positive 9. So here we're going to get a 4. Okay, sorry, I'm going to get a 4, because 2 plus 2 is 4. Here 4 minus negative 3, it is positive 3, so it will be 4 plus 3, which is 7, but there's a negative outside. This negative is very important, you take note of them. Because of a negative outside, you are going to get a negative 7. Okay, then the last one, it will be 4 minus 3, it is just going to give us a 1. Good. So when you are done with this matrix now, you'll find its transpose. So you transpose this matrix. So how are you transposing it? Next here, you do a transpose. So they transpose the matrix now. The vectors or the vertices become the horizontal become the vertices. Okay, so we are picking now the 2. So you have your 2, you have your 11, you have your negative 14 here. Then 7 here, you start with 7. This one you make it stand. So you have a 7, you have a minus 5, you have your 9. This one also stands, so you have your 4, you have your minus 7, and you have your 1, like that. So this is the transposed matrix, which you call our matrix what? Matrix N. Okay, so now what we have now is we have done our working. First we did this working where we found the determinant. Okay, after I found the determinant, the next step was to find the matrix N. So this working that we are doing, we are finding matrix N. So this is our matrix N. So ideally now we have the determinant, we have matrix N, and we have our answer. Our answer is this one that we have here. So now what we are going to do is we are going to insert this in our new equation. So we are going to get the last paper. The last paper that we are going to get now is just to put this into the equation. So the equation here, it is x, y, z, like that. This is equals to 1 over determinant times n times z, our answer. Okay, and what we have now, if you look at this, what we have, we know our answer, it is 314. So here you write 314. So under answer here you write 3, 1 and 4. Okay, then n, we knew n, we know n. This is 1 over our determinant. Also we know our determinant from our working here. We have found that our determinant is 29. So here under the equation you write your 29 in that format, times our n matrix. We know from the other sheet, page 2, our working that we did on the other one. For the n matrix, we had found our n matrix to be that format. So our n matrix, it is 2, we have 7, we have 4, and then we have 11, then we have negative 5, then we have got negative 7, then we have got negative 14, then we have got 9, then we have got 1. So we can write this properly. So this is 1 over 29, then times 2, 7, 4, 11, negative 5, negative 7, negative 14, then I've got 9, then I've got 1 in that format. All this is being multiplied by 3, 1 and 4. Okay, this is what we have. So after I have this, now we can simplify this. So how do we simplify our work that we have? We are multiplying this matrix times this. So remember the simplest multiplication that I taught you, we have 1 over 29 like that. So what we are going to get, we are going to get a 2 times 3 there. So we'll have 2 here, you have 11 and you have negative 14. Okay, and you have 7 there, you have got negative 5 here, you have got 9. Here you have got a 4, you have a minus 7, you have a 1. Okay, so how are we multiplying this? First and foremost, what we are doing, let me use another color here. Let me see if I have a different color. I think this can work out. Not this one, sorry about that. Okay, this one can work out. So the 3 here comes into the first row here. So 3 will drop into this column. So here it means this is being multiplied by 3, and here you have a 3, and here you have a 3, like that. The second one is being multiplied by 1, the second one. So here you have a 1, here you have a 1, here you have a 1. The third one here is being multiplied by 4. So you have a 4, here you have a 4, here you have a 4, like that. So after this, now we are going to add. Okay, so we'll add all these that we have. So we'll say plus, here it's already a minus, plus, here you have a plus, here is a minus, here is plus. So what we're going to get finally after we do these additions, what we're going to get, 1 over 29. Okay, you have 2 times 3, it's going to give us a 6. I'm very sure it's going to give us a 6, and this is going to give us a positive 7, and this is going to give us a 16, because 4 times 4, it is 16. Okay, so next what we're going to get, we multiply 11 times 3, we're going to get a 33, minus 5, you are going to get a minus 28. Okay, Then here we're going to get 14 times 3, we're going to get a minus 42, and here we're going to get a plus 9, and here we're going to get a plus 4. Okay. So next, what we're going to do, we're going to rewrite this now. It's 1 out of 29, like that. Remember, all here, it is all this we are doing out of, we are multiplying with x, y, z. Okay, even here we are doing the same. X, y, z is equals to this. Even here it's x, y, z is equals to this. So even here, what we are working on is x, y, z is equals to this. So now, 1 out of 29 is what we have here. So you simplify this. When you add this, what you are going to do is 6 plus 7, you're going to get a 13. 13 plus 16, so you are going to get a 29. So negative, 33 minus 5, you're going to get a positive 28. 28 minus 28, you're going to get a 0. So when you add this, 9 plus 4, you are going to get a 13. Okay, a 13, so it will be minus 42 minus 13, you are going to get a negative 29. Okay, in that format. Okay, so when you do this now, what will happen now, you are going to get x, y, z is equals to, when you simplify this, 1 over 29 times 29, what you are going to get is 29 divided by 29. Okay, and 29 divided by 29 is just going to give you 1. Okay, so this 1 over 29 times 0, you are going to get a 0. So 1 out of 29 times 29, I'm going to get negative 29 over 29, and negative 29 over 29, we are going to get a negative 1, like that. This now means that we have found the value. The first value here, it equates to this value. The second one to this value. So let me use a different color. So which means here, the value of x here, it is going to be 1. The value of y here is going to be 0. The value of z here is going to be negative 1. Therefore, you can conclude by saying the value of x is equals to 1, whilst the value of y is equals to 0, and the value of z is equals to negative 1. So this is how you solve the simultaneous equations in 3 variables using matrix method. So what we have done here, we have in fact solved this equation. We have found the values for this equation. So these are the values for this equation that we have worked on. So what is important and what is key? First and foremost, find the determinant, find the n matrix, and multiply all these with the answer after I found them. So for you to prove it, make sure that you can replace these values in all these variables, and the answer that you get here, it is going to give you the answer that is that side. So it's going to be equal. So go through these workings and let me know where you find challenges before I give you an exercise. Thank you so much for your time.